Depending on who you ask, they'll tell you I'm a legend. From YO to the Veil to the Mongo spot on Creston. Always been 1,000, never ever been a lame. Lay a nigga down for these 3 letters on my chain.
Yo, what's shaking with it, y'all? You already know how it's going down, man. This is your boy, J Hood and all that. And you are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Talez From Da Hood vlog series, man. Go stream or download my brand new album entitled Self. Snatch up the Pt1 trilogy 1 through 3. Grab up that Best of Hood, Flashbacks from the Block, and grab up that What If single. Everything is available right now on all digital streaming platforms, all right? Let's get right into it. On today's episode, we're going to talk about why Talez From Da Hood, the album, never dropped. All right. Now, in earlier episodes, I spoke about how we had 2 different deals, one with Universal and one with Koch. Each of those deals were structured the same for a Sheek album and a J Hood album. If you guys been following us, you know that Sheek dropped on Universal and I didn't, because they talked me into, going over to Koch to put my album on an independent label when I really should have stayed on the major label, because being on the major label, they offer you different things that new artists need as far as development, promotion, and, a whole bunch of other stuff that really could have did me good being a brand new artist. Okay, but anyway, went over to Koch. As you know, Sheek ended up dropping another album. My whole thing was where I messed up at. I'll put this out there and I'll take responsibility for it. Even though it wasn't fully my fault, I allowed them to convince me to get rid of someone that I had managing me originally, right? If I would have kept this manager, I really believe that my album would have ended up dropping, because this was a person that they didn't know. They had no control over him. He was like, his thought process was totally out of the box. And, they couldn't persuade him to do certain things. And they didn't particularly like that, excuse me. They was real adamant about me getting rid of him and letting someone that they grew up around manage me. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, this nigga ain't never managed nobody. He don't know how the game go. You know what I'm saying? You should let this nigga manage you. He didn't manage this person before. He managed this person before. It'll be a better look, to the point where it's like when you young and the peer pressure and you talking to dudes that been in the game, you thinking that they, know better than you. So you're taking their advice. You're going to listen to them. So that's what I end up doing. I end up getting rid of the nigga that really meant me well and really could have really got me somewhere, because that nigga was like in my corner 1,000. But I let them talk me into getting rid of that nigga to hire their mans. You know what I'm saying? And me not looking at it like, the way it really was in reality. They did that so they could be in, control the situation and oversee things more than they would have if I would have kept this other nigga. So anyway, contrary to many people's beliefs, people be like, well, he didn't have radio records, and it's the opposite, actually. I had radio records that I know for a fact could have hit the radio and popped. I had a record called All Up On Me, which I personally never really liked like that, but everybody else liked it. The females and, different dudes, when they heard it, like, okay, fuck with that. Even to this day, I still, people still hit me about that and talk about it. I had this joint called Let Me Know, which has an Aaliyah sample. Later on, Drake ended up using that same joint and it went crazy. I know that could have hit the radio and went dummy. You feel me? Like, that shit was crossover. Had another joint called Pay Attention. Bustin' Rhymes heard this shit and immediately went nuts. That was a banger. You know what I'm saying? I had another one with Chingy called Don't Stop, Get It, Get It. That was another banger. You dig? Like, where the issue lied at was they wanted me to be 100% hardcore instead of, being diverse and displaying versatility. When in my mind, I didn't want to go 100% hardcore. I wanted to mix it up because I was a younger artist and I could appeal to the younger crowd, and touch a base that they didn't touch, being that they was older than me. So that was always in my mind, you feel what I'm saying? So I wasn't never like all the way with just going the hardcore route. You know what I'm saying? And that's where they wanted me to go. Now, usually when an artist is signed to another artist, they only sign to one artist. I had the liberty of signing with 3 different artists, so I always was under the impression that I have 3 vets with me. So if I lacked anything as far as like in the creative, on the creative side of things, as far as putting together the album, they were going to come and dump their knowledge into me and show me whatever that I'm missing on, whatever that needs to be put on the album, because it's not like a foreign concept that artists, let's say for instance, right, hypothetically, you hear it all the time. Artists be like, yo, well, this was originally my song, but I put it on his album, you know what I mean? Because it would have did better with him and it would have, you know, it would have worked for him better than it worked for me. They do it all the time. Nobody ever did no shit like that with me. If they thought my album was missing something, no one ever came to me and be like, yo, I think we should do this. We should put this on this. They had a teenager putting together an album, you know, completely by himself. Don't get me wrong. They suggested certain shit like that, you know, sometime, but it wasn't like a 1,000% hands-on type of thing. It was like all me, basically. I had production from DJ Premier. I had production from Alchemist. I had production from Rockwilder. I had production from Kwame. I had production from Scram Jones. I had production from Vinny Idol. I had production from who else, man? It was a bunch of heavy hitters. Buck Wild. You know what I mean? Like I had Chingy on the joint, MOP, David Banner. Had a joint called Nobody, which a lot of people probably heard. That was from my album. A joint called That's My Nigga with all of us on it. That was from my album. Actually, to be honest with you, the D-Block Dipset joint was supposed to be on my album. That ended up being like on the Chic album with Jim Jones, Luch, and somebody else. That was supposed to be for my album. There was a lot of joints that was supposed to be for my shit, man. The joint with me and SP, that I come to show what police can do, that Pete Rock joint, that was supposed to be on my album. So I had Pete Rock on my shit too. So it really would have did good if they would have put it out. But the thing is, like, everybody was so much focused on themselves instead of concentrating on my project, you know, and I'm not faulting nobody, but at the time, everybody, I guess, felt like their personal projects needed their attention more than my project needed their attention, you know what I mean? Because at the same time, they were first-time business, you know, owners. They never ran a label before, so they didn't really know what it took to successfully put an artist out, you dig? Like, and we didn't have a staff at our label. It was just more so us and Super Mario, who was the president of the company. But as far as like a staff that like a real label has, we didn't have all that. So it was a lot of things that could have been done differently that contributed to the album not coming out. You know what I'm saying? As far as like on the distribution company, which was Koch, you didn't have people going there regularly on my behalf, making sure that everything was going the way it needed to go, making sure everyone was on their jobs and shit like that. That never went down. But when it was time for Lucha album to drop, he made sure that he was down there to make sure that they was on their job and shit like that. So it was just a lot of different stuff, man. But you know, later on I'm gonna speak about that with you guys. They doing a lot of work outside right now in my complex, so if you hear something, that's what that is. But yeah, the project would have been dope, man. And if y'all would have heard it, y'all would have definitely appreciated it. I'm not saying it would have went quadruple platinum or no shit like that, but I could have definitely went gold. You feel me? Like, that's without a doubt. But unfortunately, we probably would never hear it because when I left the label, I was not allowed to take any of the songs that I recorded at that studio with me. So right now, they still have all the songs. You dig? I don't have not one of them. So for you guys that's asking me, would it ever come out? Could I release the songs? I can't. I don't have any. But you know, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to your boy. Like the last video. Like the next one that's coming out. Check your boy out and follow me on Instagram at RealJHood. You know, the cash tag is located in this video if you ever want to contribute anything of any sort to the channel. Greatly appreciated. If not, it's all good. It's all love anyway. And until next time, you already know. Talez From Da Hood.
Oh Lord, ODG. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So let it be known, nigga, metaya. STI-double-K-O-D-G, yamana sata. Never did no friend, never did, never. Me a the general, like a boy, me a leader. Me not give a damn, me not trust them, they my eat. Charge up a pussy, or don't even try me. They try me know some and them not like me. All I just want the people to know. Ever since I